Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to do this video because it was requested a couple times, probably 20 or 30 times over the last couple of years, but it's something I just never got around to doing. It's something that's very straightforward and simple in my opinion, but I just never made a video on it, so today I'm going to. And it's one of the few things left to show as far as Zippo maintenance goes. There's not a whole lot to it. But anyway, this is going to be changing out your Rayon or cotton balls on your Zippo. Now let me first explain Rayon. Rayon is what Zippo uses, okay? And all it is a synthetic cotton. It's a man-made cotton. That's all it is. That's all Rayon is. It's not naturally cotton, it's just a plastic cotton. You could think of it that way. What I can tell you is that even though I use Rayon, because that's what originally came in there, I have used in the past regular cotton balls from the local drugstore, pharmacy, or anywhere they sell cosmetic stuff. Because you'll see in the makeup aisle they always have cotton balls as well. You can use regular natural cotton balls. They'll both work just the same. All it does is it saturates and holds up all of your fuel, okay, that stores in the Zippo. So it's very easy to do. Let me start from the beginning here. All right, I'm using a antique finish Zippo. This one is from 2001. And the tool that I'm going to use for this is the Leatherman Squirt P4. All I'm using really is a combination of small pliers. You can use any, needle nose pliers that work fine. And one of the exterior tools just as kind of a poker, something to prod around and move the cotton down easier. If that makes any sense. But basically you can use a micro screwdriver. In this case I'll use the awl. Most likely that's what I'll use. So anyway, that's the tool you're going to need. All right. So just take your Zippo. Okay, now you want to do this when the Zippo is empty. Obviously you don't want to do it when it's filled with fuel. It's going to smell. It could be a fire hazard as well. You could also get chemical burns from lighter fluid. Not a whole lot of people experience this, but occasionally I'll hear of a story where someone overfilled their Zippo and the fluid leaks out in their pocket and it'll actually burn their leg. Okay, just like gasoline or anything like that. If it gets on your hand and it sits there, it will irritate your hand or skin and you can get a chemical burn from it. It's not going to be severe. You're not going to get your hand or leg amputated because of it, but it will hurt and it's not good for you. All right, so please try not to overfill your Zippo or physically handle lighter fluid on your skin. All right, it belongs in your lighter, not in your hand. So that seems pretty straightforward, right? So take your insert out, make sure we're dry, again, no fuel. All right, so now you can remove your flint screw and spring and all that kind of stuff to make the pad easier to get off. And you know what, I'm gonna do this the right way. So since I actually have a screwdriver here, I will use it. Most of the time I'll use the lid. It's easier to start that screw, just like so. And I tightened it. But well, it's too late now. I'm so used to using that. I have a screwdriver in front of me and I don't use it. So anyway, this is just gonna make your life easier, removing and replacing the stuff. So take off your flint screw, put that aside. Make sure you have your flint screw, your spring. Oh, I'm off screen here, sorry. Your flint screw, your your spring, and your spacer. Put that off to the side. Let's keep everything in frame so you can see what I'm doing. Your flint, put that to the side as well. Don't lose that. Very tiny piece. All right, so now we have our felt pad, which we'll just lift out. You'll see that the hole obviously goes over our tube. Okay, so when we're replacing that, you don't buy this as a replacement. So you want to hang on to this, don't throw it out. Nice fat piece of felt is all that really is. So now, simply take your pliers. And again, needle nose will work best, but because these are small, they'll probably work fine. Now, every Zippo I've done in the past, there's been 5 to 7 Rayon balls on the inside, okay? So all you want to do is just pull them out, one at a time. And there'll always be one behind that flint tube. That's the hardest one to get to. But anyway, you'll see this process, and I probably showed this in a past video anyway, in replacing your wick. Now let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 in there, so there's 6 in this Zippo. There's one behind that flint tube. For this purpose, I don't have to take that out, okay? But obviously you would take that out if you want to completely replace your stuff. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, why would I need to replace this? With time, if you happen to buy a used Zippo that's, I don't know, 40 or 50 years old, this stuff will deteriorate over time, okay? So maybe you want to replace it out. If your Zippo is not giving you the performance you want, it's a very cheap fix. And if this doesn't work, you know, of course you can't figure it out, you send it back to Zippo. They have the very best warranty in the world. We will fix it for free, no questions asked. It doesn't matter what you do to your Zippo. You send it to them. If it's broken, they will replace it or they'll fix it for free. Doesn't matter what happened. I went to the Case Visitors Center, the Case/Zippo, and there's a whole display case there of some funky Zippos that have been, you know, going through hell and back. Some that were ran over by a train, you know, some that went into a meat grinder. They don't care what happens to it. You know, you don't abuse it on purpose, but if something actually happens to it under normal use, send it back to them and they'll fix it. Now, something I'll mention too is, it should be for another video, but the hinges, it's common for a hinge to get loose. It being loose is not a functionality issue, okay? So if you send one in because the hinge is loose, there's nothing they can do for you. If it snaps off, they'll re-tack weld it, you know, they'll fix it that way. But a loose hinge is just common. It's just a common thing. It's really the only drawback besides the fuel evaporating as far as Zippos are concerned. But anyway, again, the same process if you wanted to replace your wick. You could see it down in there. And I have plenty of wick left, so I don't have to worry about it. In fact, I'm going to pull mine up a little bit. And I'm going to hold it there so when I replace my cotton balls, I'll put one down, then kind of, you know, snake it back and forth. So anyway, if you want to replace it, this is all you do. And you would take your fresh, these are kind of squished down a little bit, but you take your fresh round cotton ball or rayon ball, and you place them in there and you pack it down nice and tight. So it's a pretty straightforward, simple process. And this, again, this is what's holding onto your fuel. Okay? This is absorbing all of your fuel. Now, remember, the fuel doesn't catch fire, the vapors do. Just like gasoline. You can light a bowl of gasoline on fire and it's not going to explode. It's the vapors that are actually combustible, not the liquid. So anyway, let's push this wick down a little bit. Put another one in. Push that down some more. And we're just filling it up. That's all we're doing. Like I said, the one behind the flint tube is it's a little tricky. But you just kind of wedge it down there. That's when you would use, in this case I have the awl, but you'd use a micro screwdriver or something very flat to poke back there. All right. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you open your Zippo up, if you have an older used Zippo, if you get a new one, don't even bother with this, guys. There's nothing wrong with it, I can promise you that. But if you get an older Zippo, whether you buy it on eBay or maybe, you know, it's handed down the family from a grandfather or what have you, maybe buy one at a garage sale. I don't know. But you happen to get an older Zippo, first thing you want to do is open it up, make sure the flint's in there, figure out your situation with that, and take out your felt pad. Now some of the older models, they may even be a different color. I've seen red, I've seen green. I've also seen them a lot thinner. You know, different generations have different things. These ones say lift to fill, some of them don't. But lift this out and take a look at there. If it's all dried and crappy and falling apart and old, replace it. It will hold more fuel longer when it's fresh. But I'm telling you, if you watch this video and you have a Zippo from 2 years ago, it's probably fine. You don't have to do this. But if you're fanatical about that kind of stuff, go ahead. It ain't gonna hurt anything, you know? Put your felt pad back on. Obviously, it only goes in one way, so you leave room for that flint tube. Push it down nice, and then you kind of fuzzies hanging out. You can just kind of do what I'm doing here and just even them up so it's not a mess or it's not going to stick on anything. Put your flint back in. Now, a flint doesn't matter which way, up or down, because it will regrind if you put it in backwards, so that's not a big deal. And then put your spring back in and screw down your flint screw. Okay, now you can see my felt's kind of lifting up a little bit. So I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to pack that rayon in just a little bit further to accommodate for the room. Perfect. Alright, I know I have a screwdriver, but I'm just so used to doing this little trick. I love it. So tighten our screw down. Nice and snug, don't over tighten it, you'll strip it, you know, or in this case you'll dent your lid. And that's it. Alright, I don't have fuel in this one currently, but that's how you change out your rayon balls. It's pretty straightforward. And like I said, don't worry about actually getting real rayon. You can use natural cotton balls. So whatever your pharmacy, like I said, or cosmetic store happens to have, it will work totally fine for you. And you get a bag of cotton balls that's the size of like a marshmallow bag. You probably get like 100 in there, and it's like $1.50. It's nothing. It'll last you a lifetime as far as Zippos are concerned. But if you're really into Zippos, you know, stock up on this kind of stuff. It's fun. It's part of the collectability of the whole thing. You know, if you're strange like me, you have stuff like this. You know, you have all your maintenance. I know some guys who carry, I mean, I usually carry spare flints underneath that pad I was showing you before. Like I said, this is my demo model for today, so I don't have it filled or anything in it. But you can lift up this little felt pad. You can put a spare wick in there and a couple spare flints. So no matter where you are, you know, if for some reason your flint is going to be more common, where you run out of flint. Oh no, my lighter's not usable. Well, yeah, it is. Pop your thing off, put a new flint in there. Pretty simple. It's the on-the-go fix. Your wick is going to be a little bit harder. You know, if you're out and about, you're not going to probably change your wick. But it's still cool to have one in there in case you're at a friend's house or something. You can take a couple minutes to do that. And you don't really need any tools besides a small pair of pliers. But yeah, you can just store some spare stuff in there. But like I said, if you're strange like me, I happen to have cotton balls with my Zippo stuff for this very purpose. You know, it's not necessary, but I just happen to have them. So that's it. You'll have a brand new Zippo. Like I said, if you have an older one and you find that the fuel evaporates too fast, check out your Rayon balls. It could be that they're deteriorating and they're not holding the fuel like it used to and it's leaking out. Now, if you fill this normally and it's literally leaking out like in puddles, that's definitely got to be your problem, is that your Rayon's deteriorated so much it's not soaking up the fuel anymore and it's just kind of sitting in there making a mess. So that's all. Hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope it was informative and maybe helpful for someone. And I thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy.